Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter at ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/Scott P. Gallagher.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing our weekly local marketing industry update. Now, next week's LMS member call, I want to let you know that we're going to be bumping it back by 1 hour. So that's going to be 4 p.m. Central and 5 p.m. Eastern. What a busy week this week. There's a lot going on. A couple of housekeeping items. First, I want to remind all active LMS students, if you have not, or even if you have, feel free and you can take advantage of your free coaching session. They've been going very, very well. It's been keeping me busy. I love speaking with LMS students. I've spoken with people from all around the planet, Australia, New Zealand, England, even France, and I tried to have a conversation in French, and I'm not very, very good. Quite a few in America, and of course my hometown of Canada. We will find the time to speak with you. Sometimes I've been on the phone until midnight at my time. It doesn't matter. This is my passion. This is what I enjoy. And active members can have those coaching sessions. I am also looking at providing a free coaching session to members on a regular basis, on a quarterly basis, as a bonus in regards to the program. The reason for that is that there seems to be a lot of value. There's a lot of feedback that's coming from all of this activity. All right, so we got a couple of things to talk about this week. Google taking action on some user-generated spam reports. Want to talk about that and share a little bit what that's all about. But other than that, there really hasn't been a lot that have been changed this week. So we're going to talk about let's say the SEO Playbook, just going over what local SEO is all about, as well as we know, one of the pillars are reviews. So, you may or may not know, but I've had my feet on the street. I've got some new people in my organization in sales, and every couple of years, I try to get involved in every piece of the business. So I haven't been selling to local businesses in 2 years. And I started in 2005 doing this. Now, I've been in B2B sales for quite some time, but back in 2005 to 2016, over an 11-year period, I'm amazed at how much the sale process, maybe not the sale process, let me take that back, how much our prospective buyers, our prospects are educated, and miseducated is the big one. So the sale process has to change. In other words, it is harder today to sell than it was in 2005. We got more competition and more complexity, but we use that to our advantage. And our sales funnel, since I've been on the street, it's amazing how full and how quickly that sales funnel can get when you put your time and effort into it. Now, I've been working with some premium students, and I got some successes from the beginning, but then they pulled back, and I don't see the same momentum with any of them. And it's nice to get a couple of clients here and there. However, with continued activity, and I'm going to share some of that activity with you guys, and how we're looking at delivering this. And even some of the simplest little things, what I'm getting at is getting in the door. So I want to talk about that, client acquisition, and share some tips and experiences on that. And then finally, since I've been on the streets, getting a lot of discussions about customer complaints online and how that's being handled. And so I want to review what you could be sharing with your customers on how to handle negative reviews. All right, let me go take a check here. See what we got on the line, and some new names. That's always good. Some of my regulars aren't here. It's not good. So those people that are new, let me tell you one thing that I've observed with Local Marketing Source since we founded the company in 2009, that those that have gone on to grow 6- and 7-figure agencies are those that have been involved in the community, whether it be the Local Marketing Source community or another community out there. Participating and being continually active is what it's going to take. You're not going to throw some mud at the wall and hope some of it sticks, and 4 weeks from now you're going to get successes from it. This has never been predicated as an easy business. It's not. You know, I deal with doctors, and it really pissed me off walking into some of these doctors' offices and them putting their nose up and treating me like a salesperson. Now, nobody should be treated the way, you know, I have been treated in the past when you're walking in, because damn it, I'm a published author, and dang, I study every single week for this. I probably have more hours of education. I know I've got as much formal education as these doctors. I know that I have continued education on a regular basis. You guys that are on the line right now are here for continued education. So we're not just out trying to sell something. I feel damn proud that I'm a published author and that I'm here to help these people business. I'm here to change people's lives. I'm here to give them more time so they can spend with their kids and their animals and their significant others and get out. My job is to help my clients fulfill a life with greater freedom. So when I'm walking into your office and you shun me and say, no, I'm not interested, without even taking 10 seconds to understand what I have to say, guess what? Move on. Those aren't the people you want to work with. Now, on that note, in order to earn the right to their business, it's a lot different than it was 11 years ago. You've got to go above and beyond. There's this, I did a mail campaign about 2 years ago to my local community. And there's this one firm that it's the biggest firm in the town, and out of 37 doctors, and they spend a lot of money in advertising in different areas, and they don't rank. The doctor has been around for some time, and he's a smart businessman because he's trying to increase the value of his firm. And I've been trying to get in the door and trying to earn his business. And it just so happens today that you get a phone call from his listen to this, his secretary's assistant to set this up. Well, it required a 3-mail direct mail piece to go to him. It required a postcard being dropped off. It required a book being dropped off and a direct mail, and then a customized video that was emailed to him as well as dropped off on a little postcard. And he finally bit because of the amount of efforts that were involved. And, oh, look at this. Come here, Boozy. He doesn't even recognize me. I have a dog that just walked into my office here. One of my good buddies and my partner just came back. And this is a dog-free office. Do you know that productivity increases significantly? Google, as a matter of fact, allows animals into their office. That's cool. Yeah, they do. You can bring your dog there, and they actually even have doggy daycare for the animals, and they serve them gourmet food, just like they serve their employees. They serve their dogs. And,
hey guys.
You're not on camera. You want to be?
No.
Yeah, we called each other today to talk about maroon. Anyhow, guys, so got to think about those things of trying to get in the door. The biggest thing, obviously, is getting in the door. Now, talking about Google, there was, 35,000 user-generated reports last month that were sent to Google on spam. And Google is manually taking action on 65% of all of those that result in that. Isn't that incredible? I mean, that's fantastic. Google is really, really buckling down on spammy content with some of their updates. And it's a good thing. I think that there's a lot of benefit in that, and Google's spending a lot of money in manpower to be able to get to that. But nonetheless, it's just cleaning up their particular network. Now, that was the only update of the week. There really wasn't a lot that happened in local SEO this week. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the local SEO playbook. What does that mean? How to increase your visibility, how to get out there. It boggles my mind, guys, that, anybody with an internet connection can call themselves an internet marketer. You've got Yellow Pages, that's my competition. You've got Comcast. You got the newspaper down the street, that is my competition, and what they're doing that's out there. And I just keep saying, well, it's just marketing. It's just marketing. And there's good marketing, and then there's bad marketing. But the definition of marketing is creating content that resonates with an audience and provides value to that audience. So I work with chiropractors. How can a chiropractor create a piece of content that adds value to their prospects and their patients? Well, maybe that chiropractor deals with sports athletes, all right? And so maybe that chiropractor, what if they made a video and they were standing up, or they created an article and that article was published in the local newspaper or the Chamber of Commerce, and that article was about exercises for hockey players. That would fly extremely well in the local newspapers of where I live. That's valuable content. It's not selling, and it offers merit. And really, that's marketing. And marketing is understanding your audience and delivering a message to them. Why do I say to my students to generate an authoritative book? So when you're walking in the door, when I walk in with a door, I got a book that says Internet Marketing for Small Business. Do you think I'm going to get a little bit better reception if I walk in with a book that says Internet Marketing for Chiropractors as opposed to small businesses? Because you're targeting. You're targeting your audience, and you're creating content that resonates with them, as opposed to throwing some mud at the wall and saying, hey, we deal with small businesses. So we know that the local SEO playbook, we've got 3 profiles at LMS. We talk about profiles, citations, and reviews. Now, there's a little bit more. There's some on-the-page elements, but unfortunately, only 40% of traffic in searches are going to go to a website. 60% just view the Google listing. So there are some on-the-page elements for local SEO. If you're an LMS member, you can just go into the portal, and there's a report that you can download in the tools that's called on-the-page checklist. There's about 9 items in there. It's pretty straightforward. Next they talk about citations, and I want some clarity on citations, guys. Go to a dictionary and look up what citation actually means, all right? Our industry has screwed shit up so much. They talk about avatars. They want to relabel all these terms in marketing that have been around for decades, but because all of a sudden the internet exists, let's relabel what customer segmentation means and call it an avatar. What the hell? If I go do a search for avatar, let me share my screen here. So obviously the movie comes up, Avatar. When we go and look at a Wikipedia, let's look at avatar for computing. What does that mean? It's a Hindu word. It's a graphical representation of the user's alter ego or character. All right, the internet marketing community tells us and teaches us that the avatar is the same thing as a customer persona. The buyer's persona or marketing persona. You see, it's our industry that has screwed this up. Well, they've done the same thing with labeling citations. And our industry calls these, and they misunderstand what a real citation is. But a citation is merely citing the work of others within your text. Okay? So it says and goes and gets out citations. Now, if we look up citations for internet marketing, one of the biggest players out there is Moz, and what do they say? That citations are defined as a mention of your business name and address on other web pages. It's a key component in the algorithm. Well, yeah, it is. Now, let's see where we can find some local SEO citations. And, well, the first one that comes up is White Spark. We're going to see Bright Local in here. And what do they teach us? So it's a citation with or without a link. And these software tools go and find us a whole bunch of citations, is what they call them. Guys, these are profiles that they're finding for you, okay? They're different data providers, whether it be the major or the secondary, the Amazons, the Best of the Webs, the Judy's Books, Local.com, this and that. They say, go get these all these citations. But what if you have an article listed on the Chamber of Commerce? Isn't that a citation too? Isn't being listed on a Yahoo site in China a citation? If I'm trying to market a chiropractor, which prospective patient is going to be reading an article in China? They're not. So there's obviously value of the citations. So if I can go get a free listing on Yelp.com and get that citation that these tools like White Spark and Bright Local tell us have a domain authority of 90 out of 100, or I go and get a citation and I'm published by the Chamber of Commerce or a local newspaper or a local publication or a journal, which one's got more authority? What do you think? I mean, I know your gut is telling you what the right answer is there. So be careful when they talk about citations, because they are profiles. And then finally, when I hear the term backlinks, I get scared. I get a little woozy. I mean, they are or inbound links. Let's look at it the other way around, like exposure that's out there with a true citation, a web reference. Doesn't have to have a link back. So that's what you're talking about. And we go back to my little profiles, citations, and then, of course, number 3 being reviews. And why are reviews important? Well, it's a digital form of word-of-mouth marketing, which is there's been never better form of word-of-mouth marketing. And that leads me to the last thing I'm going to talk about today is online reviews and how to respond to customer complaints. You know, I deal in the transportation world and the courier world. Chiropractic world. If a chiropractor has an average review ranking of like 4.5 stars out of 5 stars or less, they're a pretty shitty chiropractor. But if a cab company has a review ranking of 3 stars out of 5, they are a darn good taxi company. There's a huge disconnect. Dentists, they lie somewhere in the middle. So these businesses are going to get complaints. Why are you guys all coming on late? Who was that was just coming on late? All right, I'm not going to call that person out. I know who it was. She's allowed. She's an awesome person, so she's probably really busy. I won't slap her wrist for being late today. But you've got to teach and educate your customers on how to respond to reviews. Let's face it. When you spend the time and money to get people to read about your business and then they start reading a review that's less than your competitors, you've got to work on it. And the best way to work on it is to respond. Respond to complaints individually. And I know that it may seem like a little bit of extra work, but it's almost something that we can't do as a marketing company. We need our clients to do it because they're the ones dealing with the customers and that are involved in all of that. Well, that's about it. We shoot for 20 minutes, and I'm at 21 minutes. And this has been a pretty bang-on update, but sometimes we'll go much longer. So I'm going to take a 30-second break, and I'll be back and answer any questions that you guys just might have.
Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.